Hello there, and welcome back to Vintage Story. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I have had quite the week. I've spent about 6 of the past 7 days out of the house, so I have done almost nothing since the end of last episode. The only thing I've really done is get back home from the Residence Archive and start working on our barn. Just a little bit, though. We're not doing too much yet, as you can see. Okay, so I'm kind of split here. For now, I'm doing just oak wood, and I said I want to make a red barn. I'm going to need to grab the chisel so I can rotate these slabs so that they are in an up-down orientation, or the grains of wood are. But then I need to see if there is a mod, or how hard it'll be to make a mod, that I can apply color to these so that I still have the wood grain-ish look, but have them be different colors. Because I really want to have a red barn. But this is the basic plan for the barn. We're going to have 4 stalls on one side, 4 stalls on the other. We could keep pigs in 1 or 2, goats, bighorns, and be able to cycle back and forth as we do the generations. Not quite sure how big we're going to go with. We are going to build a stable eventually. I'm going to build a bridge across here so I can get back and forth without having to play, jump over the river. Gonna put a stable so we can get an elk. That's gonna be much taller. It can wait for now. I need to make a lot more of the axles, and I do not currently have the resources to do that. So we will get to that eventually. I need to go hunting to get more fat, and it is now winter. Or yeah, it's winter. It's October. It's covered in snow. I picked a poor biome, I think. It's going to be cold all year long. But yeah, we're going to need fat so we can make more axles. And, well, animals in winter generally don't have much fat on because I activated the realistic winter feature in the world settings. So yeah, animals get more lean during the winter. It means they have less fat. So you might not get any fat when you go hunting. And we need fat. So that's something we're going to work with in the future. I did quickly make a armor stand so I can put my armor on it so I don't have to worry about it while I am running around here, since I don't really need the armor for building a barn. But at the end of last episode, when we got to the archive, we cleared it. We got a few items. If I can find where I left them. Oh, here we go. So we got a lampright's blueprint. This will allow us to make these decorative lamps. But not just make decorative lamps, because we can then turn this decorative lamp into a working lamp that gives off 22 light. Which I think, if I go back and look up, lantern gives off 18, and with a silver plate added, I think gives 20. So the lamps we can make with this are actually even brighter than the lamps we can normally craft, and these are not all that expensive. A brass plate, 2 glass, and 2 nails and strips, and it looks like it could be any nail and strip. So that's good. It means I don't need to specifically use any high-level materials to make them. And then we can light up the house with some nice lamps. We also got the glider schematic, which means we can build a glider. And by the way, this does not consume the schematic. So once you have the schematic, you don't have to worry about losing it. We can build a glider, which you wear on your back in a backpack slot, and it allows you to glide. If we're going to use it, we probably would want like a takeoff point built somewhere last series I had a windmill. That would not be a bad location to have as a jumping off point. Literally a jumping off point. But that would help us glide around. Of course, we also have a hill over here. I don't know how far we can make with the glider, but, you know, it might be worth considering as a further mode of transportation in addition to an elk that we might eventually get. I do want the elk. I haven't looked into how to get an elk, and I can't find how to get an elk. So I'm going to have to actually look it up so we can move on to that. We're also going to be building a boat eventually. The river is freezing over. Might not be very useful now, but in the spring it will. I did not realize I could move the mini-map in the upper corner by dragging. Can I reset it? Yes. Okay, you learn something new every day. Alright, so we got this. The Eidolon Eligatory vessel. Again, I want to say it says Euclidean, but it definitely doesn't. Anyway, it says bring it to a treasure hunter. You might be more interested in it. At the end of the archive, there is a resonator that will tell you a story when you click on it, and it does actually tell you a bit some new lore and where to turn this in. It looks like we could turn it into any treasure hunter trader. So the same guy we made the Tim Bronze pickaxe and gave to in order to get to the Resonance Archive, we can go to him again, give him the head, and that should point us to the new story content. We are not going to go directly to the new story content, but getting that ball rolling, well, that's worth doing right now because I do want to, you know, get to some of this new content fairly quickly. There's a lot of new content, a lot of new story content, and I want to see it. I'm sure many of you do too. And quite a few people don't know there's new content in 1.20, so yeah, give everyone a chance to learn some new things. Let's see what the trader says. I went to that ruin you mentioned. Did you? Tell me about, what did you find? The structure housed a massive device and a library. I'd rather not. How's the library? I heard a voice there who bade me to seek him out. He gave me a list of names. I'm going to have to go back and look at my video to see what the names he gave me were, because I don't remember. Alright, so I'm just going to read what the resonator says, and I'll impose it on the screen for you guys so you can see. No, they hardly knew anything. Of course, it pains me to see them suffer. They're like little lost children huddling in their homes. But it's for the best. It's all for the best. We had all the knowledge in the world, and worlds beyond. And what good did it do us? No. Best leave them to it. Let them think of me as some mad old sorcerer, and leave me in peace. Forgive me my ramblings. I had lost hope, honestly. It became nothing more than a goal to chase, to keep me sane over these years. But here we are, and here you all are, somewhere out there. The world has changed, but if the archive still stands, and you're hearing this message, well, you must already know this. Come find me, my friends. There is much to discuss. The world has shifted since the old days, and I have yet to find where the archive now lay. I cannot give you a direct path, but I will have maps delivered to some familiar places. If you can find your way to, let's say, Nadia, the Spoils, the Lazlet, Cardinals, or perhaps Quiet, you will find further directions. If you don't know these lands, well, I suppose ask one of the more adventurous sorts around you. Perhaps someone can provide some assistance. I pray your journey is a short one, only a couple of decades. So, let's jump back into game. Let's do this again. I went to the ruin you mentioned. The structure housed a massive device. Heard name. And we can choose all of these. These are all names he mentioned. So, you know, let's go with Nadia. A person, perhaps someone very knowledgeable, but I've never heard of them. Okay, how about the spoils? The spoils. Only heard tell of it, but it seems an awful place anyhow. Perhaps another option? The lazaret? Ah, this one I know. Strange place, full of stone and monsters. Let's see, here. I'll show you the way. Alright, what about the Cardinals? A gathering place, I think? No idea. And quite? What peculiar name? I'm afraid I don't know anything of it. Okay. Thank you. Anything else you can tell me? Only that it's quite a distance away. You best be prepared for a long journey. Perhaps I can help with that. I have an elk I could part with. Well, there we go. That answers the question I mentioned earlier. He would be a loyal companion to you on your journey, and thanks for your information, I'll part with him for only 100 gears. You'll need a saddle and bridle too. How much would it cost if I give you the treasure I found? Oh my, it's a very intriguing find you've got there. You're mine for bargaining, friend. Give me the artifact and I'll take 50 gears off the elk. Have you a saddle and bridle with you? No, I don't. Alright, you can't sell it to me about the saddle and bridle, so we're going to have to get that first. Okay. Well, that is awesome. Oh, and there we go. We have this piece of paper, letter with directions to the lazaret. And there we go. It is now on my map, and it looks to be in the north. Oh, it says abandoned mine to the north. How far north? Negative 8,900. And we are... okay, 6,000 by about 2,000 blocks away. You know what? That's not too much further than the archive was, but... north is the ocean. So I don't know if an elk is going to help us all that much. Although we can put the elk in a boat. So... I guess I know what my next task is going to be. We are going to have to get leather, and that's fine because we need to get more fat. So get some hides, get some leather. We need to make enough leather to make the saddle, the bridle, the saddle bags, because might as well have the saddle bags if we got the elk. And then we gotta build the boat, the new boat. And then we'll be able to load the elk onto the boat and travel north. Hello, I'm back from my 27 kilometer 20k run. Yep, I overachieved by 7 kilometers. And I am paying for it. But I was talking about painting mods, and there are actually some available. So let's look at 2 of them. The first one I was looking at is the Nate's Paint Anything mod. So you need to make this Nate's paintbrush, which is easy enough. 3 flax twine and 1 stick. And then by pressing, in this case, F, we can select whatever paint we want. So if we want it to be light orange, we can apply the light orange. If we want it to be red, it can be red. And... well, it says it's paint everything, so we can paint shingles. It has to be full block, so I cannot paint... yeah, cannot paint the roof shingles, but I can paint the shingle block. I can paint the ground. I can paint wood, plaster. I'm pretty sure I can paint slabs. Okay, it has to be the outside face of the slab, so I can't apply it to the inside where it's a half. I have to apply it to the outside. But you can do that. And the thing is, this mod, which is not updated for 1.20, its last update is 1.18, does not use any paint or dye or anything once you make the paintbrush, you have infinite paint. I'm not a huge fan of that idea, but it does allow you to do quite a bit of stuff. The other paint mod, which includes this, is the wood stain mod. So we have a couple different types of red. We have, different types of wood. We have oak stained red. We have birch stained red, which kind of looks a bit orangish. We have aged planks that are stained red that looks much darker. And the way we'd make those is if we grab some oak and put that down, we can then take our stained paintbrush, which is 2 sticks and a bit of linen. And then I have to... Yeah, okay, we just place it directly into the barrel. It takes 1 liter of dye. And then we can paint it. And it does paint the entire block. Since I am in creative mode, it does not look like a used durability. Let's do survival mode. It does use durability. And it's got 120 durability. So I think I'm going to go with the wood staining mod. It looks like it does what I want better than the paint mod. Plus, you actually have to use resources. It's not free once you make it. Cannot apply the paint to other surfaces though. So I can paint the debarked oak, but I can't paint the plaster. I can't paint the ground. Can't paint shingles. So it's got its own advantages and disadvantages. I think I'm going to go with the wood stain. And I will include a link to the mod in the description. So we are going to go back into our regular world and see about making the brush. Now, for red dye though, we're going to need crushed cinnabar. So we're going to need to make a pulverizer, which is not expensive, but we are going to need to make 2 pounder caps. Each pounder cap does require, I believe it's 1 ingot. So we're going to need 2 ingots. Might as well make a meteoric iron, bunch of planks, 1 rock, and our saw. We can hook this up to our windmill. And then we have to go find cinnabar. Now, I know where there are some very weak hits of cinnabar out in the desert to the south of our home. So that will probably be our next aim, I think. Because then we can have our nice red barn. Now the question is, do I want to be the aged, the oak, or if we can find a different red? So let's see. We look stained and then plank. All right, so we've got the oak, we've got the stained, we've got birch. So let's look at maple, rotted ebony, pine. We already got oak, so I can remove that one for now. Acacia, Copic, redwood, red walnut, and red purple heart. So if I'm going with a red barn, I kind of like the redwood and the acacia, but I don't have acacia anywhere near me. So I think we'll go with the maple. Means I did just make a whole ton of oak planks for nothing, but we'll find another use for them. We can do stained slabs. So that's pink. I want red. So we can do the walls using the stained slab, and if I grab the QP chisel, I should be able to rotate the texture. Oh, I want to go up down. See, I want it to be like that and not like this, because I think that looks better. I don't think we can flip it. That's a shame. I guess I'll just have to go with full and then chisel out. Yeah, I guess that's what we're going to have to do because I can't seem to flip the texture the way I want it to go. All right, but there we go. Now we know what we're going to do. We're going to get some maple wood. We're going to, well, we're going to need to get red dye. That is going to be probably the most difficult part of this next step. But then we'll be able to paint a red barn, which is what I want. So let's go get that started. So I've been less than successful so far finding cinnabar. So I gotta take a moment here and make up the pulverizer. So we need 2-pounder caps. I'm going to use the meteoric iron since 1, we have a lot of it. And 2, meteoric iron is, I think, strength 3 for pounders. Tier 3, yeah. And I think we don't need anything higher than tier 3. I can't think of anything that requires steel. Doesn't mean there isn't anything, I just can't think of it. So, need 1 ingot to make 1-pounder cap. It's actually not all that expensive. We're going to then grab some debarked logs. I think this debarked we need. No, we need regular logs. Put that back away. Let's grab a few logs from up there. We need to make 2 pounders. Pulverizer pounders. So we need hammer, chisel, and logs. So where is my normal chisel? Right there. And we need 2 of these. 1 for each of the pounder caps. We need to make a toggle, which is going to be a plate. Okay, it has to be bronze plate or better. So I'm going to need to make up a bronze plate to do that. Then we're also going to need the pulverizer, which is going to require andesite or peridot or granite or basalt. I don't know if I have any of those, plus a whole ton of lumber. So let's check if I have a stone around up here quickly. Cracked granite. That is not going to be good enough. But that will. Okay. All right, let's see if this is enough. That plus that. Yep, so that's the pulverizer frame. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go out and put this next to our windmill. We'll make another clutch so we can power this off and on so it won't be on all the time. But we then put the pounders here. We'll have the toggle plugged in there. And requires 2 caps of the same type. I have 2 caps of the same type. They're just hot. There we go. So now when this gets powered, these will lift up and down, hitting the stone block at the bottom, and that will pulverize stuff like quartz, bauxite, peridot, cinnabar. That will get us, well, actually, it's what we're going to need to make the higher tier refractory bricks. But we're also going to need that to make the cinnabar dust to make the red dye. Now, as I said, I've had no luck finding the cinnabar to make the red dye. But since we can apply the paint after we've built the barn, I've been, you can't see it, it's nighttime, been building up the barn. Let's go to sleep and then we'll look. So I've been replacing all the lumber or all the planks with the walnut. So I did like how the walnut looked when it was painted red. And we're going to finish up the framework here. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with the roof just yet. The idea was to have a white roof. The larch roofing might work. It's kind of white. It's definitely whiter than birch. Could also go with the ceramic. With the cream ceramic shingles. Those might work. That would require, though... well, we have to make anyway. The beehive kiln. And I don't know how Well, I'm going to have to look up how exactly to get the different colors. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into this to see how exactly do I get the cream colored fire clay. Or bricks. But we might do that for the roof too. So we'll have the red walnut planks, the debarked logs will be red, and then we'll have white shingles coming down over the sides. And then we'll have our barn. It will look, hopefully, nice. But I think we're going to call it an end here for today. I'm going to go do a bit more busy work. And I'm going to hunt for more cinnabar. I searched over here where there is a minuscule hit. I've been down here searching and I found nothing. So I haven't really found any good cinnabar spots. That's like, this is the highest one at 0.19. Might hit up a few traders. There's a chance I could find a trader who might have dye or crushed cinnabar that I can trade with. Until then, thank you for joining me today. I hope you had a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Later.